I sit at home on an almost daily basis. Are we making a difference? Like, why are we doing this? Like, is it worth it?
Hello, I am Miriam, and this is Chris.
Hi, I'm
from
Chris.
Keto Chow, and we just wanted to do a little recap of Keto Pa-LOU-za. It was super great. I think the registration opened at like 3, and in the past we've gone like right when registration opens. Then it's nice because we can sit and chat with people, and everything was great. But we thought that the dinner was hors d'oeuvres.
Well, it said appetizers.
Yeah.
Turned out to be like
it was like a
steak.
full-on dinner, and it was really great. But it's funny because, you know, in our keto journey we've learned to prepare for when we're eating somewhere else, and we know that Autumn is great, and she is really, you know, particular about the food, and we really appreciate her level of commitment for that. But in the past, when we've gone elsewhere, not just with Autumn, you know, it's nice to plan these things out. So we went ahead, and the 7 of us, we went to Brazilian Steakhouse
at 4, right when they opened.
Right before we needed to go over to the event, because then we were able to just pop from table to table and to just visit with anyone we wanted, and not have to worry about standing in line for the food. Is this gonna help me hit my macros? Is it, you know, is there gonna be any hidden things? Just being prepared was really helpful, and it really helped me feel at ease. Because every once in a while you'll go to an event and it says, well, we'll have food, and it's like, we've gone to some keto events in the past and it's really fancy, and it's like a meatball. I mean, granted, it's a meatball this big.
Literally was a meatball once.
One meatball. I'm like, that's not enough to satiate me. And then the hors d'oeuvres are like vegetables and stuff, which are good, but I can have like one vegetable. You know, like I can have one piece of cucumber. I can't have a big old salad. Another thing that we've noticed in the past, and not even at keto events, just in general, is a lot of times when you have a big meal for people, it's going to be chicken. Because chicken is less expensive than beef, and it's less expensive than a lot of things, and it's going to be chicken breast. So,
which is fine, but it's usually dry, and it's very low in fat.
And if you can find some butter to put on there, like, then you're okay. But man, picanha, chicken breast with butter, like... So we decided to make that choice.
Well, and also, one of the other reasons we decided to make that choice was that on Saturday night, after the thing, a bunch of people were going to be going to dinner to a Brazilian steakhouse. And we've done that in the past, and it was a lot of fun.
But another thing that's something we have to recognize is what time of day it's going to be and how spent we're going to be. Anytime we do a show, we are standing on our feet for hours. We're like standing up for 12 hours, because before even anybody gets there, we've been setting up for 2 hours. So we're tired, and I think that's something really important to take note of. You don't always have to push through. You can take a break, because if you're always pushing through for your whole life, you're gonna be spent faster, because you're not gonna have enough time to refill. And so noticing that we were not gonna be done till 7 o'clock at night, that's late for us to finish a show.
And then go to dinner.
And then start dinner.
With 40 people.
So we just decided we would go back to our house, and we got some steaks. And
that's on Saturday, but the reason we decided on Friday to go to dinner then was because we weren't going to go on Saturday.
True. I was getting the days mixed up.
So on Friday night, when we were talking to people, we were like, hey, they were really excited about coming to our booth on Saturday morning to buy butterscotch. And we had brought quite a lot.
A whole suitcase full.
Yeah, a whole suitcase full. But we decided that we were going to need to put a limit on how many we could sell to people there at the show. We're like, hey, we will sell you 5 here, so that there's enough to go around for everybody.
Yes.
If you want more than that, we'll ship it to you for free, and which is typically what we do at the shows. And I had to go outside for something, And I came back in, and the doors had opened, and there was this giant
It was
line
so awesome.
of people
Everybody wanted to come
that
see us
just
and
wanted
get
to go to
butterscotch.
the Keto Chow booth.
It was so awesome.
I ended up just spending the entire time in the booth because if somebody wanted to talk to me,
They knew where he was going to be.
they knew where I was going to be.
Yes.
That allowed you to go and watch some of the stuff, do some live streams about it.
I did some. So on our Instagram channel, if you go to Keto Chow's Instagram, and there are, I think, 5 of some of the talks that were there.
But it was a lot of fun, and at the same time that all this is going on Saturday, there was actually another show going on here in Utah.
Yes.
The Gluten-Free Expo is an interesting thing because it's not keto, but our product is gluten-free, and it's full of a lot of good nutrition.
Yes.
And we've gone to the Gluten-Free Expo in the past, and it's really interesting because you have these families, and it's usually a kid that can't have gluten, and they'll come around, they're trying different stuff, and they try our stuff, and they're usually just blown away.
Wow, that tastes amazing.
Because it's so good. And the parents are like, oh, this is something my kid actually likes. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, and Miriam got to go around.
So Joe and Rachel started off the event, which is always great because they have so much energy. And what was so interesting was they were talking about draining your feelings tank and then committing fully. And I really appreciated, what they said about that, because with mental health and depression, of course, you know that you can't change some things of how you feel. And I completely understand that. We have all of these feelings like, I can't do this. I am so sad and neglecting my happiness because I can't eat these things or whatever. That's the type of feelings that they were talking about. And saying, you got to drain your feelings tank because you're feeling disappointed and you hate yourself and all of these feelings that you have towards yourself specifically and the world and the food and anything. You got to try to figure out how to separate your feelings of those things and think logically. And then once you can think more logically, you can say, okay, well, this is not working. And if I can change that mindset out and not just be like, I can't have this, I'm so sad, I'm so mad, I'm so disappointed, I hate myself. So I thought that was really a cool way to talk about things, kind of changing that mindset there.
Nice.
Those types of talks resonate so much with me because that's where I struggle. And just recognizing where I struggle is really helpful for me on my journey, because then I can say, oh, I struggle with this, bring it to a conscious level, and then I can move past it because I realize that is a struggle for me. So I really appreciate that. I was watching Ryan Lowry's talk, and one of the slides that he put up onto the screen was a bunch of lines like this, vertical lines like this, and then times of day in the day, and they're on all the lines were different people. And then each time they ate was a dot. And oh my gosh, that thing was so covered in dots. Like, so it's a whole entire day. And then there's, you snack here, you have breakfast, you snack a little bit here.
You're not talking about a meal, you're talking about like grab a handful of nuts.
Yeah, you walk past the break room, like have this and this. And all of the lines were just full of dots. We're not eating 3 times a day. We're eating 7, 8, 10 times a day, and we're not even counting it. And it's so easy to not count that unless you're actually putting it into a tracking app, which is still easy to be like, that doesn't count. I'm not putting that in. Because we feel guilty about it, and we're not being honest with ourselves, and we're just pretending like we are. But it was really interesting to see just so many dots and realize all of that. Every time you have some food, you're giving your body a message. You're telling your body, you need to store this or you need to use it as energy. And then your glucose is going to go up and your insulin is going to go up to take care of that. And if you don't give your body enough time to let the insulin go down, the glucose to go down, then you're not going to be able to heal because you're constantly giving your body those messages, message. And then it's going to keep on working to do its thing because our bodies are amazing and they take care of the things that we give it. So just seeing the lines like hit me. I'm all, oh, I'm going to be more careful.
Did you catch Kim's talk?
Kim is always amazing. If you ever have a chance to listen to Kim speak, you should take the opportunity. She always does a good job. The thing that I thought was most impressive about her talk was she had a picture of like 2 different sections. So like here's a tree trunk and then there's a person like hugging the tree trunk, right? And then there's the picture of the top of the forest, all the tops of the trees. And she said, if you focus so much on weight loss,
you're hugging this tree.
You're hugging this tree. You're so concerned and worried consumed by weight loss. You are missing the forest for the trees. Your body, your health journey is a forest. There's so many different pieces, and it's really hard to not get overwhelmed by that. I completely understand that. And so I think focusing on one thing at a time is awesome. But if you're so intensely focused on weight loss, you might miss something else that you should be focusing on. The talks were really amazing. I really had a good time. One thing that I thought was really important, that I don't even know if somebody said something about the talk or if I just got it from somebody else, was about sleep. And I've been thinking about this a lot because I've been tired this whole week, because that's what happens when you go to a show. Sometimes you just get tired. If you're out of food, you can go to the grocery store and pick up more food. And then you have food and then it's fine, right? But if you're out of sleep, you cannot replenish that. The only way to get more sleep is to sleep. You're just going to be tired, and then you're going to be grouchy, and then you're not going to be feeling good. So you need to prioritize your sleep. You just got to. So I've been trying to listen to my body and sleep so that I can catch up from the jet lag. And even though it's only a couple hours, it really makes a big difference. So that's something else that I got as a takeaway from the show. Something I encourage people to do is just take one thing from each speaker, and then after you're all done, just try to incorporate one thing, not necessarily from each speaker, but just one thing from the conference, and try to incorporate it so that you can benefit from it. So that's a goal. And I know myself, I know that if I try to do too many things at once, I'm just going to set myself up to fail, because I'm going to be overwhelmed soon, and I need to have something that's sustainable. So I just try to grab one thing. And, in this case, the things that I'm focusing on are 2 things. I have been thinking about the whole eating thing from Ryan Lowry, and then I've been thinking about the sleep. So I'm kind of thinking about those 2 things to try to incorporate this week. And then I shouldn't get overwhelmed because it's only 2 things, right? One thing's better, but 2 things is not too bad. It's not 15, and 15 would be too much for me. And I understand that about myself. So that's good. Something on Saturday night, we were really lucky and we were able to invite a bunch of people over, and we did a round table again. So we'll go ahead and put that in right here. We were able to hear from a lot of the speakers. We had Tony Hampton come, Ken Berry, Lindsay Murphy, who wasn't a speaker, but she's worth hearing. If she can speak somewhere, I would love to hear her speak. She's so amazing. She has a YouTube channel. I love her so much. And then we had Tony Hampton's wife was there, and Kim Howerton was there, and then our team. So that was awesome.
This weekend for me was all about the community. I feel really blessed to be a part of the keto community. As far as my keto journey, I don't have a lot of support at home, and so this whole group
not that your family's terrible.
They're not terrible. They love me, but they won't keto with me. Okay. And so it's really great to be a part of a community that is so supportive and just loves you and helps you on your journey. Oh, we love you with that.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
So nervous right now.
He doesn't know how to talk on camera.
Yeah.
One of the things I love most about coming to these conferences, especially the recurrent ones that I've been to several years in a row, is seeing the same people. And at this conference, there were 3 people this year who I'd met twice before, who I literally did not recognize this year. Their transformation had been so utter and so complete that only when they'd be telling me their story, I'm like, holy crap, I do remember you. Oh my God, you look so different. Yeah, and so that's really awesome when you give somebody the tools And they just go home and say, okay, I'll do that. And then they proceed to do it. And then you see them next year and they look like a different person. Pretty cool.
Nice.
So I really appreciated at this conference how many people came up and like wanted a hug and to connect, because we see each other online, but to actually make an in-person connection is really special. And it's easy to sometimes forget how many like real people, you know, there are that are out there listening to the random things that I say. And then it's to actually see that somebody's hearing it is really rewarding. And I'm adding a bonus. What was really nice about this conference was they asked if this was people's first conference, whose first conference it was, and a lot of hands went up. And that
30%.
was really nice to see, because as much as I love seeing the same people over and over again, who are my friends and I want to see them, I also like seeing new people get inspired. And so that felt really good to see that.
I would say, like, to piggyback on what you had just said, that was what I was thinking, was that there was a lot of people. And Friday was awesome because that was the first time everybody's asking, like, who's here for the first time? And it was just like the larger share of the room was like, this is my first keto conference. But everybody on Friday sort of had this look of like, and I'm scared a little bit. Like, I basically got in the door, but now what? And by today, everybody was running up to say like, and I made this friend, and these are like, and one person was like, I've made 8 friends. And I thought that is incredible. And that is something that you can take home with you and be able to check in with one another as you try to put into practice the things you've learned, because it's so awesome to take notes, but putting it into practice is really hard. And I feel like that's where community helps you feel solid in moving forward. And then there's somebody to check on you and say like, okay, you said you were going to start getting those steps in, like, did you actually do it? And I think that that's really powerful.
Wow, so much. It's funny because I come to these because we love community. And I say all the time, listen, you can see Kim and Dr. Barry and Dr. Boz and Lindsay and everybody. You can go just home and watch YouTubes and know.
And don't forget Tony.
And Tony.
Dr. Hansen.
You can watch videos at home and get a lot of the information that you're going to get at these conferences. But you don't get the community. And I can't speak for the rest of them, but I sit at home on an almost daily basis, and Rachel will yell at me about this, and like, are we making a difference? Like, why are we doing this? Like, is it worth it? Like, the comments that are hate, like, it's not worth it, maybe. And then you come here and you have people come up like, what you said last year has changed my life. And it makes you go, wow. And then you see the transformation that Dr. Barry was talking about. And then you see people who are like me, who were recluses and didn't know how to make friends, and they're roommates in hotel rooms, and they've only met through online and in chat rooms and in Dr. Barry's community. And it's just like, oh my gosh, like, wow, the life change that is happening. And tomorrow we get to go on a walk with people who, for the first time ever, they're going to raise their hands and like, I did it. And that's why you need to be here. And this is why I push Autumn so hard every year, that this is the one conference that cannot go away, because it's all about, like what she calls, it's a family reunion.
Keto Pa-LOU-za 2087.
One of my largest takeaways are the different little nuggets that I got from everyone's talk. I mean, everything was just really great. I loved it. And to piggyback on everyone else is the sense of community. It allows you to come, to sit there and to look at yourself and say, you know what, I'm not the only person. I'm not here at this little place. I'm not stuck here. Someone else has been here. Someone else has done that. So thank you all.
Oh, I don't even know what to say. I love the community. I love it when somebody, I recognize their face, but they come up to me and they're like, Holly, I know who you are, you know, and everybody wants hugs, and it really is a community, a family, friends, and it just is so fun to see everybody and to meet new people and to get to know and share your story with everybody, and your struggles, your successes, your you know, and get some ideas from them as to things you can try, because it's always an experiment on yourself as to what is working, and what works today doesn't work tomorrow. So you constantly have to change to make it work for you.
For me, so many people come up to you during a conference and they are looking for hope, and it's nice to be in an environment where they can find hope. But one of the things that perplexes me is that no matter where they're from, and I'm from Chicago, and they're like, well, I can't find a metabolic doctor that understands low carb, keto, and carnivore. And I live in a city with 3 million people, and if you search that and you look for it on Low Carb USA or wherever, you don't find a lot of people. So I'm still shocked and perplexed that the rest of the world haven't discovered what we've discovered. I mean, we're pretty smart, but are we that much smarter than all of these people in the world? And when people struggle, even if you're a clinician and you're struggling to see the results you went to school to achieve in your patients, should that not make you pause and say, something I'm doing is not right? Something I'm doing is not getting results. And I just want to live in a world where people pause and question what they're doing. And I just think that if we don't start doing that, we're going to be in this same little group with the same people, and hopefully it will grow and we'll see more people inspired. But this is a grassroots effort. So for me, we need more people providing hope. We need the smaller YouTube channel with 100 subscribers to evangelize and provide hope, and we need the 2 million subscriber channels to continue to do that work. So for me, coming to these conferences is about continuing the grassroots efforts that we need to continue to restore hope, because I want everybody to have the opportunity to live a long, full life by simply making small changes. My ribeye tonight was delicious. I did not feel like I was sacrificing. And thank you guys for providing that ribeye tonight. So that's what I would say.
They make us work for our...
Oh, yeah?
So we're earning it now.
So it's my first time in Louisville.
You have to say it right, though.
Louisville.
And sometimes I think it's hard when you're in that two-dimensional world of making a video saying, this is what I think the commenters want to hear, and here's, you know, am I answering a question? And so today there were several people who, you know, I'd never met. They appeared to know me, you know? So it's this weird relationship. And I've had the same thoughts, like, is moving the needle? Is anybody changing their life? And so the repeated number of times where people said, wow, here's who I was before I met you on YouTube. So it just helps to keep because it's so lonely on the other side of the camera, saying, okay, is it the right content? We're guessing, we're throwing the needle out or the dart out, hoping to hit what people are interested in. Today was rewarding to hear it in person and to see it like, this is who I used to be. Your content made a difference. So it was nice to see the new like newbies, if you would, in the last year that said, no, it made a difference.
Okay, Lindsay.
Oh, me.
Okay. Say hey y'all real quick.
Hey y'all. Okay, so I don't offer a lot of education. I don't offer a whole lot of advice as far as that's concerned. I'm not an expert. I am just a regular person who just likes to hear themselves talk. And it was really awesome to be able to like have people already kind of know who I am that approached me and have them say, here's who I am, and let them give me some context as to who they are. That was really cool. And being able to just like, I don't know, face to face. Like now I've got some faces for names, and that makes a difference whenever I do a live stream or whenever I, you know, see you in the comments. But the actual real takeaway from this weekend was getting to play Duck Duck Goose.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
the vendor hall, so don't miss it.
I witnessed that. I was jealous.
I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Okay, so my takeaway was that no matter what your reach is, what maybe the scope of your influence is, you can do something to help other people, to maybe give them some support, and to help them in their journey and to achieve their goals, whatever those goals may be. Maybe something small, maybe something big, but you can help other people out. Okay, well, thanks everybody.
Thank you. You can go back to having fun now. I'm just so grateful that I have good friends in the keto space. I feel like especially having community is really good, because I know if I'm having a hard time, I know that so-and-so's in Kentucky and wishing me well. And that really, really helps me so much to know that, you know, if I'm the only person in my group of girlfriends that's not eating the French fries, I'm not alone. There's a person over here. There's a person in Arizona. There's a person here, and we're in the same place together. So we're working on doing things together, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate in the comments if you can say something. What's your favorite memory from KPL this year? What would you like to see in the future with shows? If you haven't ever been to a show, which one would you like to attend? Go ahead and let me know.